All right, guys. So in one of our last question and answer videos that I did with my wife, there was a question about me being a sneakerhead that was at the end of the video and the audio cut out, so you didn't get to hear my answer. So we figured the best way to answer the question was to do a separate video kind of covering my shoe collection, or part of it at least, to better answer the question. So what I've got laid out here is essentially just my Jordan collection, and that's probably my favorite type of shoes. So, it's something, for me, I think as a kid, I was always looking forward to when the new Air Jordans were going to come out, and waiting and anticipating what they were going to look like, and what the new model was going to be. And so I think as a younger kid, that's kind of where part of this started. The other part of it was that that growing up, we didn't have a tremendous amount of money. So, something when the new shoes came out, it definitely was not something where I could just go buy them and get whatever I wanted. I had to save money, or my parents would help me buy them for sure. And I would contribute part of it. And I think part of that was them teaching me to work hard and appreciate money, which I'm very thankful for those lessons, because it certainly taught me a lot about life. But I think that's kind of where it started for me. And then, it grew as I got a little bit older, and I played basketball through high school, and then I played on a scholarship in college. So obviously basketball shoes were a big part of my life. Things just got a little bit more serious for me at that point. So, I got, a little superstitious about my shoes, especially when I was playing basketball. So, got a little bit weird, but I think a lot of basketball players are that way. So if I would, for example, have a bad half, I would change my shoes and change my socks. So I typically would travel with, I would say, 2 to 3 different pairs for certain games. And, on our college basketball calendar, I would pick out the biggest games and make sure that I had the biggest pairs of shoes essentially for those games. So it was just something that was kind of fun. And it made the hype of, especially those bigger rivalry games and bigger national tournament games, that type of stuff. It made it more fun for me. So that's kind of where it all started. And, now I just enjoy kind of getting a new pair of shoes every now and then, even though now I have the money to buy basically whatever shoes I want. I still kind of space it out, and will just add a pair every now and then. I don't go crazy, and I certainly could probably have a lot more shoes if I wanted to, but I just certain pairs I've kept over the years here that have more kind of sentimental value to me for certain reasons. But anyway, I just kind of lined them out. I didn't really know how to organize the shoes for this video, but lined them out from starting with the number one. So basically, just by number is how we're going to go through this. So this is a pair of retro ones. Kind of fun. I don't wear those very often. I have worn them, but it's been a long time. Just kind of fun to have. The threes, I actually wore this pair a lot. I wore this playing basketball in college, and then as you can see, they've been worn a little bit more. But threes, I would say, are one of my favorite Jordans. I'll probably get more new pairs of those, I would imagine, to add to the collection. One of my favorites, maybe my favorite overall, is the fours. This is a cement retro 4. Definitely one of my favorite shoes. And then the fives, kind of this, like the 3, 4, and 5 Jordans are probably some of my favorites overall. So this is a little bit newer pair of retro 5s, and then these actually just came out recently. So I really like those as well. So those are definitely 2 of my favorites. We got the 7s, which I definitely like these. I can't say that they're my favorite, but definitely fun to have. And then this is a pair of low 8s, which I wore around. It's been a long time since I pulled those out of the box. Not a big fan of the 8s, I have to say overall, but yeah, it was kind of fun pulling them out for the video, because I haven't looked at those in, God, a number of years. So then we'll move on to the 11s. This is, probably for a lot of people, their favorite Jordan, and probably the most popular basketball shoe ever is the Jordan 11. So this is an older pair. I've worn those, obviously. I actually played basketball in these in college. So that's why, plus they're a little bit older now for sure, but that's why they definitely don't look brand new. Same thing with the 11s. I remember I wore these actually for one of our last home games when I was a senior in college. It was a big rivalry game, and I got a big dunk in one of the games in that pair of shoes. I remember it was just a huge rivalry game, so that was a lot of fun. So we'll move on to the 10s. These are a pair that I think you've actually seen me wear this in a recent YouTube video or two. This is another pair of 10s that I've only wore once. I actually got married in these. My wife got these as a surprise before our wedding, and I was really excited. And she was cool with me wearing my nice suit with Jordan, retro Jordan 10s. So yeah, I got married in those. Really, really fun kind of story there. Here are the 12s. Another one, this shoe actually took a long time for this to grow on me. When these came out, I was in high school. I think that was my freshman year of high school that the 12s came out, and I was kind of like, don't really know if I love those. But they tend to grow on you. I think Jordans, they kind of set a trend, and they take a little while to grow on you, but then they become more and more popular as well. So we'll move on to the 13s. This is definitely up there as one of my favorite pairs of shoes. The hologram was always really cool. I remember that being a big deal when that came out. And these were featured in He Got Game. So that was that was a neat thing too. And with Denzel wearing them and all that. So those are pretty cool. And then just a low version as well that I got for fun. Moving on to the 14s. I actually had several pairs of these. I had one, I remember in high school, I got the originals to play in, and definitely loved. I actually loved playing basketball in these. Was a really good shoe, and I bought the Carolina blue ones for fun later on. But that's sad that I got rid of some of those, but they would be really, really old now. So I'm not too sad that they're gone. But moving on to the 18s, this was one that I actually really enjoyed playing in. For whatever reason, it just seemed like it was a great shoe to play basketball in. And then they came out with the 18.5s, which again was one of my favorites. And I played in a lot of big college basketball games in this pair of shoes, and I loved those a lot. Just felt great playing in them, like I said. So a lot of good memories in those shoes. And then some of the more recent ones, the 31s. I actually have a pair of 31s on right now that I'm wearing, and then this is a separate pair that I have as well, just for different events, that kind of thing. The 32s, and then this is actually one of my most recent additions is the brand new retro 11s that came out. My wife actually got these for me for Christmas as a surprise, so I was super pumped to add those because they're one of my favorites for sure, and I had several different pairs over the years of those, so those I'll save for probably more special occasions for sure. And then I wanted to finish this up with the fact that I've got two little boys now is kind of a dream come true in a way, because I get to share kind of my love of shoes with them, even though they don't know what shoes they're wearing yet. It's been really fun. So this was the retro 11s for my oldest and then youngest were part of my Christmas gift as well. So we all can match, which is really cool. And I don't think there's anything much cooler than little baby Jordans like this size, which is it's pretty neat. And then we've got my youngest a retro pair of 10s, and then my oldest actually a pair of retro 5s to match me as well. So I think their shoe collections are probably going to grow. Unfortunately, they're going to grow out of them pretty quick. And, it's kind of sad that these little shoes actually cost so much money, but whatever. Hopefully someday they can appreciate the pictures and being able to kind of have the same shoes as that, I'm sure will be kind of a neat thing for them as they grow up and whatever. But I've probably spent more money than I really care to think about over the years on shoes. I've got rid of a lot over the years too, but it's something that I enjoy, and now kind of if I do certain things or whatever, it's something I kind of reward myself with is getting a new pair, or that. Like I said, I can easily buy them, but it's almost more fun if I have to do something and then kind of get it as a reward for myself. If I do something good or whatever, just kind of anything. And then I get to add to the collection a little bit more. But this is just something that's kind of fun for me that I enjoy, that's outside of lifting, it's outside of competing. Just something that's kind of carried on with me from my days of playing basketball. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this look into my Jordan collection, or basically this is it. I mean, I've got rid of a lot of pairs over the years, but this is it. And maybe we'll do an update if I keep adding pairs. I don't know. So, but for now, go out and be great, and we will check you guys later.